Raise a glass, let the worry slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for today. There's Troy laughing with his gin and a grin, telling stories about where he's been. Boomer's got whiskey, he's loosening his tie, chasing dreams under a midday sky. The bartender knows us, he's mixing with flair. Every sip's a moment we're happy to share. Liquid lunch, pour it smooth, let it flow. Friends round the table where the good times grow. Raise a glass, let the worry slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for a day. The clock don't matter, we're lost in the vibe. Jazz in the air, feel the soul come alive. From martinis to bourbon, we're riding the wave. Stealing this hour, it's the freedom we crave. Sun's still shining, but we're in our zone. This bar's our shelter, our temporary home. One more round before the world calls us back. Savor the moment, keep the blues in the rack. We'll laugh and we'll toast till the afternoon fades. Memories made in these liquid escapades. Liquid lunch, pour it smooth, let it flow. Friends round the table where the good times grow. Raise a glass, let the worry slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for today. So here's to the daylight, the drinks and the fun. Our liquid lunch, till the next one comes. With a wink and a smile, we'll be back real soon. Chasing that jazz under the high noon.
Salut and welcome. So glad you are all here on this thankful Thursday. Hope you all have something to be thankful for. I've got plenty of things to be thankful for. I've got one in particular. Well, one big one that covers a lot of ground. Gonna warn you, might get a little bit political, but I think it's going to be even-handed enough that regardless of where you fall in the political spectrum, within reason, you should be okay with following along. Just keep an open mind. Your brains won't fall out, I promise. Going to start by saying hi to all of you wonderful people who are here expressing your gratitude today. Starting with Big Al of Big Al Presents, who says, Happy Thankful Thursday, Liquid Lunchers. Have a great show, Troy. Thank you very much. I intend to try. Real Wade Nation Gaming Clips, wonderful channel. Make sure you're subscribed to him. Says, I'm thankful for Stone Loki for his knowledge. I'm not sure specifically what he's referring to, but yes, Stone Loki is a wonderful channel as well that you should also be subscribed to. He's got a wonderful morning show here on the YouTubes. Definitely want to check him out if you can. He's also thankful for me. Well, I'm thankful for you as well, Wade. Yes, Tim, welcome and thank you. I saw your comment. Haven't had a chance to look at the suggestion you're making. But I have to admit right now, I am kind of, well, of course, you have weeks to sway me otherwise, but I kind of am leaning into that whole Sherlock Holmes thing at this time. Netters Network, of course, saying, calling me the love of her life before going on to ask all of you to like, share, subscribe, become a member, leave a comment, and gift a membership if you are feeling generous. generous to some random person who could join our community, and generous to me, trying to keep this channel afloat. Definitely appreciate any support you can offer. Hail to the chat, says Connie Cleary, the bird woman of YouTube, Fluff Chick Production, and one of the hardest working blue spanners that I know of. Jonathan Conroy says, hail all, smash the like button, and enjoy the show. And yes, I do hope you enjoy the show. Otherwise, why would you even come here if you don't enjoy the show? I hope you all do. And, wow, did I just get to the end of the chat already? Are we already at that point? Wow. Make sure you're sharing out that stream, because it's pretty light today. Not a lot of people here today, so I'm going to go ahead and get right into my topic. So I think all of you, if you are looking at the news, and I'm not speaking pop culturally, I'm talking, federal government right now. As of yesterday morning, big shutdown. How many of these have we had in the past, I don't know how many years? But it's a budget situation for the U.S. government. This is standard operating procedure for the legislature. They have rules where you cannot continue to run the government if you don't have a budget, and they couldn't come to an agreement on the budget. And we can talk a little bit more about that later on, the whys and the what fors. But regardless of all of that, the consequences are that so-called non-essential employees have been furloughed because they won't be getting paid. You can't keep people working if they're not getting paid. There are certain necessary employees that are still working, and in some cases working without pay until the budget is passed and they all will receive back pay, but those are fewer and farther between. We're going to get into details on that in a little bit, but I do see a couple people funneling in, starting with Mark Melnikoff, who says, Mech Paul. He is someone who works in the private sector, so he definitely has been working. He's been working 6 days straight, and looking forward to a day off finally. Here I are, done with all those extra shifts at the dilithium mines. 90 hours over 2 weeks. Wow. That's enough for me. Yes, and as an hourly employee, that means he also receives overtime. And trying to remember, one of the campaign promises that I don't know if it was covered or not in the big beautiful bill, but there was talk about overtime being exempted from income tax. Don't know if that happened or not, but here's hoping for Mark's sake for sure. Netter's reminding me that I should remind everyone else that we have a membership drive, $2 a month, well, $1.99. You're going to quibble about a penny, right? Gives members 4 movies a month. Yes, one of the perks of membership is that every Monday evening, Monday night at the movies, members night at the movies, every Monday, a movie of your choice. I give you a poll of something topical, these related films. Like this past week, we watched films that were baseball themed. But one of them that was in the poll was The Natural, starring Robert Redford. That was the one you guys chose because not only were we going to watch a baseball movie, but one that honors someone who just passed. And this week, this Monday, is a full moon, so we are going to be watching a werewolf film, and the poll is up right now. If you want to participate in that, just become a member for as little as $2 a month. Yes, as she points out, I am in a membership drive trying to get to 100 members by the end of the year, and you can help me do that. Gifted memberships are also welcome if you want to help me reach that goal and bring someone else into our community. You know, together we grow. By all means, that would be wonderful. Government is broken, yes, but we're fixing it big time. That's what I'm thankful for, and that's what I'm going to get into in just a moment. So yeah, let us do just that. Let me get us over to, here we go. Share screen, full screen. I don't need to share the sound. And there we go. There we go. So this comes to us from Time Magazine, the bastion of bastions. Trump doubles down amid government shutdown as layoffs loom. Cry all you want, he says. And yeah. So President Donald Trump has delivered a pointed message to his critics amid the government shutdown and his renewed threat of impending layoffs of federal workers. Let me pause right here. You're going to hear a lot of things in the news about these draconian measures of his. They're probably going to use the term dictator. He's a dictator, you know. I hate to point this out, but it was the Democrats in the legislature that literally gave him this power. They handed him a pen and said, start going through and firing people. They may not have intended to do that, but that's literally what they did. Everything is above board here. When you give someone a sword, don't be surprised when they start swinging it. Taking to his social media platform, Truth Social, late Wednesday night, Trump shared an image posted by one of his supporters. The portrait of Trump signing a document in the Oval Office was emblazoned with the statement, "Cry all you want. He's doing exactly what I hired him for." Now, I wasn't the person that posted that, but I could very well have been. I made Mark laugh. What did he say? I just sent you this earlier. Yes, I should have. Thank you for calling me out. I should give attribution where it's due. This specific article, this specific article was sent to me by Mark, and I was like, you know what? I'm going with it. That's what I'm sharing today. Let's see. Just moments before the repost, Trump delivered a firm message online, seemingly reaffirming that his administration intends to seize and shut down as an opportunity to carry out mass layoffs and reshape the federal workforce. Let us be very clear. The federal workforce is ridiculously overblown. This is levels that we have never. The government has continued to grow and grow and grow, and we've got so much waste. If Doge showed us nothing else, we realize how many billions of dollars are literally just being squandered on bull crap, and we're not even aware of it because nobody has been paying attention. Even the legislators that are signing off on it, they're not reading bills. They're just signing them. Well, the adults are in the room now. Republicans must use this opportunity of Democrat forced closure to clear out dead wood, waste, and fraud. It is fraud. Trump stated before, going on to claim that billions of dollars could be saved. He is not wrong. Even his detractors are estimating very similar types of numbers. The president earlier indicated that Democrats would feel the main brunt of the layoffs, telling reporters in the Oval Office, "We'd be laying off a lot of people that are going to be very effective, and they're Democrats. They're gonna be Democrats." So, the instinct is, well, how unfair he's targeting Democrats. No, he's not. He's targeting operations and programs within the federal government, which is his right and obligation as the executive of this country. It just so happens that disproportionately the Democrats have been creating these programs to give themselves jobs. It's just the way it works. White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt, or Levitt, I'm not sure how she pronounces it, said on Wednesday that layoffs are imminent. You got to remember, when it comes to names, oftentimes I only ever see them in print. I don't hear them pronounced. And unless that person is pronouncing it themselves, I don't know that the person saying their name is pronouncing it correctly. So I just do the best that I can. And that Trump has directed his cabinet and the Office of Management and Budget, we'll be talking about that office in just a moment, is working with agencies to identify where cuts can be made. Leavitt said more announcements would be made soon regarding the hits of the federal workforce, which are expected to begin within the next 2 days. The action of pursuing layoffs is a step away from the standard procedure of furloughing workers until government funds resume. The Trump administration's eagerness to pursue further layoffs has received heavy criticism from the Democratic lawmakers. Well, of course, because this is their voters. But again, that's political. That's not a business decision. Remember, these federal agencies see your tax dollars as their free coffers to do with as they please, to give jobs, to create jobs for people so that they will be positively disposed to vote for them in the future. That's how this is working and why it needs to stop. Remember, when there is a shutdown of the government and they shut down what is it called? Non-critical, unnecessary jobs, whatever. If they're not critical and you know, I mean, honestly, unless you work for the federal government yourself, how many of you have even noticed, you know, this shutdown? How many of you has it directly affected? Probably none, because this is all gravy going to certain people. Those people notice. The rest of us, whose money is being withheld because we're trying to be fiscally responsible, aren't noticing the difference. We may notice this in the future positively when these savings possibly reduce our taxes in future years. But let me continue. House Democrat leader Representative Hakeem Jeffries referred to the impending layoff as cruelty and pointed to the mass federal dismissal of office shuttering that have already taken place since the Trump return. Cruelty. Again, it's about feelings. It's not about budgets. It's not about logic and reason and making hard decisions and what's best for the country. It's about feelings. We create jobs for people. This is how socialism comes about. You create jobs. You create jobs that are unnecessary, that just bloat the government. Everyone works for the government until, boom, socialism. These are all the things that the Trump administration has been doing since January 20th, Jeffrey says, seemingly referencing the widespread layoffs and spending cuts led by the Department of Government Efficiency, previously overseen by Elon Musk. Yes. Doge said it cut government spending by $55 billion within the first month of Trump's second term, but a time review of the itemized savings posted on Doge's website found it more accurately accounted for $16 billion in savings. $16 billion is still pretty good, better than any other administration previously. And the discrepancy between 16 and 55 may just come down to your definitions. But we're going to get into how much more is going to happen in the next few days, let alone by the end of the year. Meanwhile, in what appears to be a sign of the lapsed communication between Republican and Democrats, Jeffries also said that he hasn't heard from the White House since Monday. You shut it down. He has no obligation to even talk to you now. You guys walked away. Now it's time for the president to do his job. Your opportunity to talk to him was before the shutdown, Jeffries. The government has been in shutdown, and personally, I think that Congress should be having their paychecks withheld. Not that they would care or notice; they just use it as a talking point. Because let's face it, that's not where their money comes from. Their money comes from their stock gambling. Gambling. When you have insider trading going on, it's not gambling. The government has been in shutdown. It's first in almost 7 years. And why has it been in 7 years? Because you've had a Democrat majority and a very feckless GOP. Oh, we can't let it shut down. We got to let the Democrats have whatever they want. And now that we have a Republican majority, we're going, you know what? The reason we have a majority is because people want this to stop, and it's going to stop. Some people finally finding their spines, it would seem. After a bitter stalemate in Congress between the Republicans and Democrats, the political parties are locked in a dispute over spending and enhanced Obamacare subsidies. Yeah. Things that let's try to understand what democracy means. For the past 10 years, we've heard the Democrats, I think misnamed party, but the so-called Democrats, talking about defending democracy. Understand what democracy means. It means government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And these people vote in their representatives to represent them in government, right? So do what the people are asking for and demanding. So if that means, you know what, this party is taken over, that means we're going to wipe away the processes of the previous administration because this is what the voters decided. There you go. That's how it works. Anyway, the political parties are locked in a dispute over spending and enhancements to Obamacare. That was the other thing. We've already decided that we don't want Obamacare. It was a failure. We knew, most of us knew it would be in the first place. A lot of lefties saw it as socialized medicine, and that was never even what it was. It was more government bloat that needs to be gotten rid of. It has not made access to health care for anyone. No one has achieved more access to health care as a result of Obamacare. What it actually did was raise prices for everyone. Wonderful. An 11th hour attempt to find common ground failed on Tuesday night when almost all Senate Democrats voted to reject the House-passed Republican bill that would have extended funding until November 21st. So they made their choice. The bill did not meet the Democrats' core demands that Affordable Care Act subsidies, again, it did this. You got to get past. Don't judge a book by its cover. The name is a lie. This so-called Affordable Care Act made no care affordable for anyone. That is a lie. Set to expire at the end of the year, should be extended, nor did it move to reverse the deep cuts to Medicaid. Understand what Medicaid is and the difference between Medicare and Medicaid. Medicare is something that you pay into from your tax dollars to fund medical care for yourself in your retirement. Okay? We want to protect that, just like we want to protect Social Security. Medicaid is a benefit to help indigent people, people that are poor, people that are, on government subsidies, right? To help sometimes the elderly. It is an aid to Medicare, to people under a certain earning threshold, with dependents, for veterans, right? But it has become overbloated because we've been spending so much money from Medicaid on illegal migrants, illegal invaders in this country who should have no rights to benefits of your tax dollars. That's what's being cut here. That featured in Trump's big, beautiful bill that was signed into law on July 4th. Keep in mind, the big, beautiful bill passed through this very same House. So, the House and Senate, approved it, and now they're saying, oh, we want to change the rules. That's what this is all about. A blame game has ensued in light of the shutdown, with both political parties holding each other responsible for the halt in government activities. The president and Congress still get paid during a shutdown, but amid concerns over layoffs and the impact on federal workers and everyday Americans, some lawmakers have pledged to forego their own paychecks in solidarity until the government is back up and running. Just so you know, throughout his entire first term, President Trump forewent his presidential salary because he was not seeing it as a job that he wanted to benefit from. He saw it as a duty, and he didn't need that paycheck. So it's not often publicized, but it's true. So when people like this grandstand, again, this is not where their money comes from. That's a pittance. It's like when I talk about the AdSense on these videos. That means nothing to me. If you guys are using an ad blocker, I don't care. If you're not supporting me directly, then I'm not receiving any financial support for this channel, period. Same thing here. Republican Rep. Ron Estes of Kansas has requested that his salary be put on hold in response to the shutdown for as long as the government closure lasts. Ooh. Nobody cares. Democrats led by Chuck Schumer have pushed Congress into another Schumer shutdown. During the government shutdown, members of Congress still receive their paychecks. This is unfair when some federal employees are furloughed and or don't receive their paychecks. Estes said via social media on Wednesday morning, sharing a letter requesting his salary be withheld. Democrat Senator Andy Kim of New Jersey is also among the lawmakers who will refuse to accept his own salary. It's wrong that the president and members of Congress get paid. Again, the president isn't accepting his paycheck either. Get paid during a government shutdown when our military and public servants don't. I will be refusing my own pay. Government leaders shouldn't be playing with other people's chips, said Kim. Well, I hate to tell you this, Kim, but it is your job. You are the leaders. You are the deciders. You absolutely are playing with other people's chips. And you have been ignoring that duty for far too long. And now is the time to deal with that. Sorry, but that is absolutely your job. That's what we're talking about here. Anyway, gone over the halfway point. I've got some additional points to bring to this right after we just talk about what we'll be doing throughout the week. Stay right there. Be back in about 3 minutes or so. If I can find my promos. Where are they? There they are.
You are watching Liquid Lunch, streaming every weekday at noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. Let's sip together.
It's Thursday night, and Netters Network talks to the streamers who have everybody talking. It's Thursday Things, Thursdays at 9 Central, 10 Eastern on Netters Network.
This week on Saturday Night at the Movies, Sissy Spacek stars in the story of a lonely teenage girl who possesses a strange and evil power that turns a high school prom into a nightmare. This chilling blend of American Graffiti and Psycho is a psychokinetic, bone-chilling classic based on the novel by Stephen King, Carrie. This week on Big Al Presents Films with Friends, Saturday at 9 Central, 10 Eastern.
In a world where nearly all the entertainment is remakes, reboots, and rehashes of older properties, maybe it's worth it to get some commentary from people who experienced it all when it was novel and fresh. Catch Boomer and Pacelli on Geeky Geezers every Sunday night at 8 Central, 9 Eastern.
Dive into the eerie, surreal world of Twin Peaks with us every Tuesday. Join passionate superfans as we unravel mysteries, decode Lynchian symbolism, and sip some damn fine coffee together. Whether you're a Black Lodge veteran or a curious newcomer, our live discussions on YouTube and X will keep you hooked. Come join the conversation. Who killed Laura Palmer? Let's find out together on Deleted Scenes and Affiliates every Tuesday evening at 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern.
Avon must take drastic action to save the crew, with Scorpio trapped by the atmosphere of the green planet Vern, and Tarrant and Servalan stranded together on the planet's surface, held captive by vampire Sand. This week on Last Call Presents Blake's 7, 10 p.m. Central, 11 Eastern.
We now return to our liquid lunch.
I still shake my head at that. Vampire Sand. That is not a mistake. That is actually part of the synopsis of the story. Anyway. Nate says, like, share, subscribe, comment, and become a member of my boy, Troy Pacelli. Oh, yeah, because the Macho Man says so from beyond the grave. Dig it. I don't know how good a Randy Savage impersonation that was, but I did my best. I live in the DMV. Can I have a lot of associates who work in the federal government? Majority of them are Democrats. Another one can explain to me what they do at their job. Yeah. That's just it. A lot of these, and this is always good enough for federal for government work. You've heard that saying. Basically, for ever since the New Deal, people have said, federal work is just busy work to keep people employed and paying their taxes, and it is a form of socialism. That's where this bloat comes from. After seeing what the last administration did, with our taxes, I want a refund. Yeah. Well, they're working on that. They absolutely are working on it. Let's see. Obamacare is total BS. I remember when it came into effect, my healthcare premiums at work nearly tripled and I was forced off the plan, I had to find a different one. Yeah, this happened to a lot of people. And the initial, lefty talking point was, well, the people who can pay more need to pay more so that the people that can't afford it. But that's not what actually happened. That's how it was billed to you, but that's not what actually happened. Nobody got any free health care from Obamacare. All it did was create the bloat that is now being scrubbed away. Try, I can personally testify, Maddie B. Affordable Care Act did not work for me, and I was lucky. I got the job that I have now that comes with health care, with Obamacare, limited access to doctors, way too high, a copay, and prescription prices were through the roof. That's another thing that that Trump is working on, is those prescription prices. Mark can probably tell us more about that. He sees that through the dilithium mines. Charlotte Nightstar the Werewolf. Oh, this is your week, girl. Because Friday we are talking about werewolf movies. Monday is a full moon where members of my channel will be watching. Right now, the movie that's in the lead is American Werewolf in London. But if you would rather see a different werewolf movie, maybe become a member and cast your vote. I work in the Social Security courthouse. Trust me, it's no fun working under a furlough. I take seriously my job of helping the public. This is the problem, right? So let me put it in perspective. There are jobs that are seasonal, right? Whether you are a farmer, whether you are a teacher, because you only work from September through, like June, and then you have summer off. People who have these kinds of seasonal jobs either have a second job lined up in the off season, some of them do. Others manage their money on an annual basis so that, because they know they're going to have to coast for a while. And most federal workers that have been at it for a while know that these shutdowns happen. So they wisely plan ahead and go, you know what, 10%, actually, you know what, you'd be better off 12%. 12% of my income is going to go into a savings account that I do not touch until there is a shutdown, and that's what I live off of. The nice thing about that is it's interest bearing, so that money just sits there and accumulates. And if one year there isn't a shutdown, as there hadn't been for a couple years now, you just let that money sit and accrue interest. It is a savings account. That is how you do. And why do I say, why my math is off. That shouldn't have been 12%. It should be 1/12 of your annual income. You should be, per month. But basically what you're doing is you want there to be enough after a year of savings to be worth a month of living on. Anyway, my point being, most people are doing that, and there's a lot of people. There's a bloke who was talking about this over on Culture Casino yesterday during the 6 Minute Daily, where he was saying that he was on furlough, not getting paid, and he was dropping some pretty big chunks of change on Culture, and Culture's like, dude, if you don't have the money, he's like, no. He says, I planned for this. I knew this was coming. But it's what you sign up for when you take that government job. You take a government job, you know this is a distinct possibility. Joe's Atmosphere coming with a drive-by like. Thank you so much, my friend. Make sure that you are you're following him. Oh no, liquor and politics, not a good combination. Not to worry. I'm very light on both of those things today, so not a problem. Hopefully you are back to work soon. I found the folks at the local SSI office to be very friendly and helpful. Yeah, and that's the irony, right? They're the ones that should be considered because we have made a promise that Social Security payments would continue, right? That the government shutdowns will not impact Social Security. It really shouldn't, because you're holding on to our money, federal government. You have no business holding on to it because you can't get your crap together, right? But that means that the people working for the Social Security Administration should be considered essential workers. They should be. The reason they're not, because they want to put political pressure on us. Let's see here. See, and that's the other thing, too. You know, you can't make very sweeping generalizations. You know, she says we try. Well, I try. You know, she can speak for herself. Not everyone tries. But in general, it's probably true at the Social Security Administration. Not all government agencies are created equal. We need a constitutional amendment that says if the government shuts down, the salaries of Congress and the Senate should be transferred to the federal workers automatically. I don't know if that should be a constitutional amendment. It's absolutely a congressional rule that could be created by themselves if they were intellectually honest. They're not, but it should be. Yeah, as a federal worker, I like that idea. As a taxpayer, I like that idea. You know? All I can say is both sides need to drop their pride and talk so we can go back to work. Well, that's a little overly simplistic. There's also the consideration, as I was saying during the reading of the article, that we the people in our democratically in our democratic process have decided who we want in charge and what we want to happen as a result. I voted for this. Okay, that we need to get federal spending under control. Okay, just like you can't go around just running up credit cards all your life without any intention of ever paying them back. Otherwise, you will go bankrupt. We need to treat the country the same way, just the way a company needs to be held accountable as well. When one party ends up taking over the government because of a shift in votes, a shift in the opinions and desires of we the people, yes, I'm not saying that the minority party needs to just give up entirely, but they need to read the room. They need to understand that we voted for something, and you can't use your shutdown of the government as a cudgel to force the vast majority of this country to capitulate to your minority. Considering they call themselves Democrats and they want to defend democracy, that's very anti-democratic. I understand that. But again, when you are a contractor, when you are a seasonal worker, you make those decisions and you are aware of that. And I'm telling you that as a federal employee, you need to understand that this is going to happen year after year after year. And if you can't live paycheck to paycheck, if this is going to break you, I really recommend this is probably not the industry for you. Maybe get to something that has a little bit more payment stability. Pay attention. When you work for a company and you know that they are downsizing, there are reductions in force happening, that's when you start looking for another job. You don't wait until you lose your job, right? And I'm telling you, you read the room, that's what's happening with the federal government right now. The Democrats want an extra $18+ trillion, they say, for health care. But it's not needed for health care. They want the extra money to give health care to illegals, and it's pretty obvious. Yes, Doge made that very, very clear. Welcome back, Wade. Good to see you again. And welcome to longest running superhero RPG on Earth. Good to see you, CK. So I had a couple notes, comments that I wanted to make here. So Scott Cooper, director of the Office of Personnel Management, estimates 300,000 federal job cuts this year. No plans to relocate jobs from D.C. That's as of August 21st. That comes out to about 1 in 8 federal civilian workers. Okay? So if you didn't know before, you knew by August 21st that reductions in forces for the federal government are coming. Okay? So be aware. Put this in perspective, the federal workforce is shrinking from 2.4 million employees in January to 2.1 million by December, representing the single largest government reduction in force since World War II. There was 150,000 jobs reduced primarily through DOGE's deferred resignation program, reported September 30th, marking the largest single-day federal reduction in force in decades. The president posted yesterday on Truth Social that he was meeting with Director of Management and Budget Russ Vaught to determine which of the many Democratic agencies he recommends to be cut. Some analysts are estimating that the federal government may be 1 million employees smaller as a result of the shutdown. Created in 2020, President Donald Trump first created the Schedule F category through an executive order in October of 2020. It was intended to reclassify tens of thousands of federal workers in policy-related jobs, stripping them of standard civil service protections and making them at-will employees who would be fired more easily. Basically, it's Order 66 for the deep state rather than for Jedi. SCOTUS has consistently upheld the president's executive authority to manage the federal workforce. SCOTUS is not going to come in and save the day for the Democrats on this one. This is what happens. It was incredibly reckless of the Democrats to think they had the power arm. They bluffed, and the Republicans did not blink. That's what happened. They said, if we threaten to shut down the government, you'll back down like you always do. And the GOP majority said, nope, let's shut it down and see what happens. And what happens is they literally, so this is what happens in a shutdown like this. Congress is done. They're hands off, they walk away. Again, why everyone is saying they shouldn't be getting paid, right? They walk away, but the government still has to function. That's when the executive takes over. And he says, well, look at all these jobs that, you considered non-essential. Let's just start getting rid of them. And we're not going to furlough them. We are going to reduce the force. We are going to get rid of these unnecessary jobs. You just made it clear they were unnecessary. So we're going to get rid of them. Wait a minute. It's a little off topic, but let me get back to it. When it's the discussion of the werewolves, American Werewolf in London, don't want to miss it. We will be talking about it on Friday, and we are almost certainly going to be watching it on Monday. I'm not, the vote still has a number of days, but it is 75% of the votes have come in favor of American Werewolf in London. look, any opportunity to see a young Jenny Agutter in all of her glory is a wonderful thing. But it's also a groundbreaking film of practical special effects and movie making, and it really does set the genre from that point on. And I'm going to, as I talk about American Werewolf in London, I'm going to talk about its connective tissue to Michael Jackson's Thriller by way of explanation. So anyway, as I was getting at, this is we know that this is cleaning house. We all know just from the audits that Doge has been doing. Remember, Doge still exists. Just because Elon stepped away from it doesn't mean Doge has been mothballed. It's still auditing our government. Don't worry. We're covering that one on Friday as well. That one is one that Age of Boomer is going to be covering. But yeah, that's if you know somebody who could be a ringer on that vote, someone that you could entice to vote for Dog Soldiers, you could probably gift them a membership. That's kind of the way democracy works, right? I'm going to give you a little Benny. You vote the way I want you to. It'd be a very democratic way of doing things, right? And I like how Mark thinks as well. Carton Marak 2028. Go to the Targ Party ticket. We win and retire Congress and install the Klingon High Council. Yeah, exactly. I'd be in favor of that. That's actually a great idea. I love that idea. But yeah. So that is why I am thankful. I am thankful that I know for some people this is going to be a challenging time. Just understand that this is probably, if you're going to continue in this career in federal government, you should be planning ahead. This will happen next year. This will happen the following year. I can almost guarantee you that. So when you get through this and you start getting your back pay, I highly encourage you to start a savings account that you do not touch until such time as you need to draw on it because you've been furloughed in a situation like this. And the other upside to that is what you don't spend continues to be a savings that continues to accrue interest. So, that's fiscal responsibility, something our government is just now apparently learning. Yes, I absolutely am. Because it's a relative democracy here in last call membership. Or if you want to be less charitable to me, you could say I'm grifting. I'm grifting for memberships. That's what I'm doing. It's a grift. It's all a grift. Which is very capitalistic, right? So I'm running over. But I am thankful that we are seeing this fiscal responsibility. And it's interesting because just last week I was talking about being thankful for the exemption in taxation for what I do, which is the tips that I am working for on this channel. Just remember now, under the current working tax laws, when you tip on this channel with a super chat or a super thanks or a super sticker, those are considered tips that I won't be taxed on. So that means more money goes into this channel. Of course, that also means more money goes to YouTube. But that also means that you can use that PayPal link that I never talk about, but is in the description of every video. If you just want to transfer a tip to me directly, 100% of that would go to Well, let's be honest. 100% of that goes to Netter, not to me, but you know what I'm saying. But there you go, folks. My heart goes out to you if you are in this situation. But again, just remember, every time there's a reduction in force, every time there is a change in the industry, we've all had to deal with it. This is the thing that people need to understand. As all of these federal employees are losing their jobs, all of us in the private sector are going, been there many, many times. Welcome to the club. You know? I'm thankful that there's a lot of non-leftist Democrats who are now seeing the truth about who's really running their party. Yes, you got people like Fetterman, who Mark calls my... what did he call it? My mirror universe doppelganger, because he kind of looks like me. And for the longest time, he sounded like he was the complete opposite political spectrum of me. But the Overton window has shifted so much; he's coming more to the center. And if he trusted the leadership of the GOP, I really do believe he would become a Republican and start voting Republican. But a lot of Democrats are making that choice right now. They are considering switching, and that Republican-Democrat divide is going to become even larger as you have more former Democrats becoming Republican. The Republican lead will start to increase, which isn't necessarily. It's a good thing in the short term. In the long term, it's not. In the long term, we do not want a one-party system. We want reformation of the Democratic Party. And I say that as a registered Republican. I want our colleagues on the other side of the aisle to get their heads out of their collective asses and fix their party. I really, really do. Yeah, that's actually... Fetterman as Bizarro Troy is pretty funny. Yeah, that's kind of what he is, I suppose. A little less bizarre than he was... at the beginning of the term, but pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Yeah. I used to call Fetterman the anti-Troy before he changed. Now he's... Yeah, I think CK's right. He's more like Bizarro Troy. He's like Bizarro Troy. I'd like to see him... What would a Bizarro Troy... A Bizarro Troy wouldn't wear a fedora. What would they wear? A boater hat, maybe? Maybe a boater hat with like a cracked brim or something like that. I don't know. Just spitballing. The rules for the bizarros have changed, and it depends on the individual stories. But anyway, I've already gone over. I'm sorry that I've kept you. You guys probably need to. Those of you that need to get back to work need to get back to work. Me, Bizarro Troy. Hate Trek. Well, actually, at this point, that's just regular Troy saying I hate modern Trek. I hate modern Trek. Yeah, you don't hear too many Republicans become a Democrat, just the other way around. Well, there's a couple that should. There are a number of Republicans in name only that need to switch parties, and I hope they do. I really hope they do. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you guys so much for listening to my. It was a little ranty for a Thankful Thursday, but nonetheless, I was thankful. I was, when they were saying, oh, there's going to be a government shutdown. There's going to be a government shutdown. I was sitting here like Palpatine. Do it. And they did. And yeah, the next couple days are going to be very interesting. We're going to see a lot of, I just gave estimates. It could be even way more than that. I meant TOS. Yeah. Bizarro Troy would sing the praises of Discovery. Yes. Me am hate, Star Trek Discovery. Cling orcs am terrible. Well, yeah, I guess Bizarro Troy would say what real Troy really means, I guess, saying it backwards. Anyway, you're scrambling my noodle here. So, yes, thank you, Connie. Thank you, everyone who hung out with me. Today is Thursday, so next up, of course, will be Netters Network. Tonight at 9, no guest. It'll just be you guys telling us what you want to talk about this Thursday, although we are lining up a string of guests for Netter in future weeks. And guys, I want to thank every single one of you so much. You guys make this happen, make it possible for me to even do this. Guys, take care. Get back to work. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye. Play.
Goodbye. Hope to see you again real soon.
So here's to the daylight, the drinks and the fun, our liquid lunch, till the next one comes. With a wink and a smile, we'll be back real soon, chasing that jazz under the high